Happy Thursday. So today we're going to talk about trauma, um, grief, loss of a loved one, and then we'll talk about rebuilding yourself. So trauma can come in the form of many things: anger, depression, fear, anxiety, um, aggression, somebody withdrawing themselves. All of those are forms of trauma, right? And trauma is caused by an event that takes place in your life that's kind of like overwhelming, or it's like a shift in what you are accustomed to. So, and it can really make your life either do a down spiral to where anything that you've ever done good, like you just don't have that desire anymore, right? It can just send your whole life into an uproar. It can run people away. Trauma in your life can make people feel uneasy around you or uncomfortable with you. They won't feel the same that they used to feel when pre-trauma, before you encountered the things that made you withdraw or start acting erratic. Let's talk about loss of a loved one. Loss of a loved one, that causes you to grieve, right? Grief comes in many different stages and in many different phases. Some people can get through it quicker than others. Some may take months, some can take years. And what I'm learning about grief is it all depends on the psyche, right? How your mind perceives things or how your mind analyzes things, right? Some people are, I don't want to say strong in the mind, but some people are just able to digest things and accept things differently than others. It don't mean that you're stronger than someone or that someone is a weak person, but some people are just able to adapt to change. And even though losing someone is not a good change, you have to be able to see the good in it in order for you to persevere. And I lost my father, today makes 60 days. And I never thought that I would ever have to live without him, ever, right? Because my father was a man that has always been there. It's never just been my mother. She's never just raised me alone. And I have siblings as well. My father has always been there, present for duty. And everybody that knows me, they call me a daddy's girl, but I'm a parent's girl, right? I love my mother and father the same. I would do anything for them. And now that my father is gone, my love is still growing. I've never experienced not being with someone that I love, right? Not being with someone who took care of me my whole life. I've never had to experience being without anybody that I love physically, in the physical. But I have to be without my dad, right? And I'm grieving to a point of where, like I can think about him too hard and I'll cry. Somebody can say something about him and I'll cry. I still haven't reached the level of acceptance to where it doesn't bring tears to my eyes. I miss him in my heart, right? I miss his presence, his face. I miss hearing his voice. Those little things that I never took for granted, but those little things like the phone call, him calling and him saying, "Hey, I'm just calling to see what y'all doing." He would literally call and say that, and I'd be like, "Nothing, what you doing?" He'd say, "Nothing, I ain't want nothing." It would be a 60-second or less conversation, and that just would fill my day, right? I miss my daddy. We always had a good relationship. So, you know, it's just one of them things where, he wasn't my own. He's God's child. So I have to accept that. God took him home. It's his child. He took him home. And as sure as we live, we're going to die. So that's why it's really beneficial if we treat those that we say we love like we love them. Don't take them for granted. It should never be a time where somebody that you say you love feel like you don't love them, right? Because I cannot think of a time where I didn't feel or think that my parents loved me. It was never a time, right? So those that you say you love, show them you love them. Tell them you love them, right? And then you won't have to, I don't even want to say you won't have to grieve so hard, but you will be able to have all those moments where you say, man, they knew I loved them, because before my father died, he told me constantly, I know you love your daddy. You take care of your daddy. He said that to me, and it used to blow my mind, like, I wonder why he keeps saying that. He used to always say that. My mom would say, I'm going to call your daughter, and he'd snap out of whatever it was he was doing. If he wasn't supposed to be smoking, my mom would say, I'm going to call Delana. I ain't scared of Delana, but he wouldn't smoke as much, right? So, it's important to let those know that you love them. Those that you say you love, let them know. Tell them how special they are. My daddy told me, he said I was special. He said he was proud of me. He said he believed in me. He supported me. He verbalized this. And I told him, I said, Dad, you know I love you. And he'd be like, oh yeah. Shit, yeah, I know. He would tell me that. So when I get too sad, I think of those moments where he told me, where he wore my shirts, with my name and my face on it, promoting my business. He was proud of his daughter now. I think about those moments where I would get him t-shirts made and he would wear them proudly. He would take a picture and send it to me. Think about the moments where he would FaceTime. Yeah, I would snap them pictures of us. So when I'm really sad, I just think about those moments, right? I think about all of those special and priceless moments. So we got trauma. So we got grief. Let's talk about how, we can turn all of that around, turn all of that sadness around when we're grieving. And most people won't be able to give you any kind of advice or encouraging words if they have not experienced it themselves. We lose people that we know every day, but somebody that's special to you, a parent, a sibling, somebody that raised you or played an instrumental role in your life, those type of people, you have to let time get up under you. And you got to let God heal your heart. And then you have to have a willing spirit to persevere. You got to want to move on, because if you don't, depression will pull you in and you will stay in that sunken place. Depression causes you to block people out. It causes you to not be productive. It causes you to sleep longer than you want to sleep. It causes you to eat unhealthy all through the day, all through the night. It causes you to have attitude problems. It causes the mental health to start to fail. You'll start having nightmares. You'll start having moments of where you're paranoid, or you'll start feeling like you're having these breakdowns. You'll be nervous, can't sleep, or sleep too much, can't eat or eat too much. Depression does a lot. It breaks you down. You'll find yourself talking about the death over and over again. Not only worrying yourself, but those around you, right? It causes anxiety when you're anxious. You're nervous inside, right? You'll start having those panic attacks where your chest feels tight, like you're almost having a heart attack. You can feel it from your fingers tingling, the nerves tingling, fingers, feet, a rush to the head. You can't think straight. All of that is from stress, depression, sadness. And when you think about it, even if you think nobody in this world cares about you, who has the energy? Who has the energy to sit around sunken, depressed? That's what brought me out of it. I mean, it kept on pulling at me. Like, man, I ain't got no daddy no more. This is my rock. My kids love him like a daddy. My daddy paid my son's college, his bills at college, to take the pressure off of me. He paid Delante's rent. He gave Delante money. I mean, he helped a lot. He would come over here and just throw me money. He was a driving force in all of our lives, right? Been with my mother for 50 years. That's a tragic loss. But you got to persevere. Man, I was just getting sad out of nowhere. I could be just talking and the tears is just flowing. And I'm like, dog, I'm crying again. I go by, I got his remains in my dining room. And I could go past there and I just bust out crying. And I'm thinking, why? You know, my mind, I wanted to celebrate his life, right? In my mind, I was like, every time I get sad, I'm going to celebrate his life. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to mope and go on and on about it. But it just kept coming at me. Grief, depression, sadness. And I just prayed to God, like, God, I don't want to be sad. I don't even feel like myself. Help me to lift myself up. Right? I got too many things to do. My daddy wouldn't want me down here being sad. If he saw that, he would be like, be strong. He used to tell me this all the time. When something was too great for me and I would call him crying about it, he would be like, be strong. And I would say to myself, why you keep saying be strong? I don't even know how to be strong right now. That's what I would say. He would just say, it'll be all right, be strong. So I use his words in here. It'll be all right, be strong. And after so long, it's always all right, and I'm still strong. I regain my strength, right? So we have to find that peace within. We have to find that energy, that positiveness. We have to find something that we can think of that can pull us out of that place, that sunken place, right? Trust. You have to trust yourself. Trust yourself to make good decisions. Trust yourself to believe that God has your loved one in his care, the best place to be. And trust that you will see him again someday. Trust that you have done the best that you could. And for those that did not do a good job at loving their loved one, ask God's forgiveness and move on, because God is allowing you another day. That's another chance to get it right. We have to find joy in the fact that God gave us these good people and he also took them away, right? Took them back home. Because why? It's his child, not yours, right? Talk about being able to be a good person to those that are still here on earth with us. With my father passing, it taught me so much about people that I didn't think gave two shakes of a fart for me, right? I would always be like, they don't care. They just saying that. When I tell you I had love pouring into me from people that I would not have ever thought. I'm talking about text messages, visits, monetary gifts, food, beverages, fruit baskets, cards coming from everywhere. It was overwhelming. That made me cry. Okay? It taught me so much. And it also taught me about who don't care nothing about me. The people that I thought would be there for me were not there. And that's fine. I have not brought that up, threw it up in their face, but it just showed me, it helped me to separate the two. Right? Because you cannot show somebody that you love them by not being there. Right? You can't show somebody that you love them by not showing that you love them. We're going to just leave that there. But you have to trust your instincts. Trust the people that you say love you. Trust them to love you. Trust yourself to love them like you want them to love you. Right? It's never too late to change. It's never too late to be a better person. I have a friend. And being friends with her taught me how to be a friend. I said, she is the type of friend that I desire to be. Right? I started learning stuff from her. I'm like, dog, I like the feeling that gave me when she just popped up over my house with a bag full of things that I didn't even think she paid attention for. for your friends. Try that for somebody you love. Man, that make you feel like Wonder Woman. Just pop up at their house with a bag of things that you know they love. Little simple stuff. They could love double mint gum and Pepsi. Put it in a gift bag with a card. You're special to me. Make their day. We talking about trauma. We talking about grief. These are the things that you can do to bring somebody out of that hole, right? This same friend, just calling to check on you. What you doing? I'm on my way. Don't even ask them. I'm on my way. Getting ready to bring your favorite beverage. I'm gonna come over there and crack some jokes with you. This will help somebody. It will bless them, and by you blessing them, it'll bless you. Right? Just a listening ear, somebody that's listening to you. Man, I feel so sad today, or I feel so happy today. A listening ear. A lot of times people don't need advice. I got this one friend, you call him any hour today, he gonna try to give you some advice. I'm like, I don't want no advice. Just listen. Just listen. He's a great person. Very seasoned. Great person. But a lot of times you don't need advice. They just need a listening ear. I'm one of them people I always say, nah, are we just talking, or you need advice, or do you just want to vent? Because I be ready. I'm on it. Like, what they need me to help them get it together. But I'm learning to sometimes just be present. So yeah, on this 60th day of my father not presently being here, I think what I've taken from this whole experience thus far is, if you keep living in the past, you won't be able to move into your present. If you keep living in the past, you won't be able to move into your present. Right? I don't want to live in the past. I want to move on. I want to be happy. I want to be at peace and content. I want to be in genuine friendships and genuine relationships. Don't you? That's grown right there. That's grown. When you want to be in genuine friendships and relationships, that means that nothing fake about it. Everything is for real. I'm for real. I'm for real. Without saying I'm for real. Everything is for real. How awesome is that? That's what I'm looking for. Genuine. Right? So I'm going to let y'all go. Have a blessed Thursday. Bye.